And with that, welcome back here at ITB 2024 at the Orange Stage for the ITB convention. It's great to have you. Thank you so much for joining us digitally, but also, of course, here on site. I do see a lot of familiar faces of the ITB community and the ITB family. It's great to have you as we are diving slowly into our afternoon. And the topic is really, we're not talking about chaos, it's just the title, but we talk about the times amidst chaos. And the O within the chaos stands really for opportunity. That is what our next speaker is saying. He is recognized as the founder of the year by Entrepreneur.com. And he is also the founder of India's first software as a service company to be listed on Indian Stock Exchange. He's the founder and managing director of RateGain. So please give him a warm shower of applause to Bhanu Chopra. Bhanu.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's amazing to have you. Come a little bit closer. So the stage will be yours in a second, but of course, I have a tough question just as a warm-up.
Yeah, sure.
You are an entrepreneur, so congratulations for being the Entrepreneur of the Year.
Yes.
And I think every entrepreneur needs to have a superpower.
Yes.
What is your superpower?
Oh my God. You want the long answer or the short one? There are a few of them. I think as a founder, you go through the ups and downs. So number one is persistence. Because I remember in this 2-decade journey, we've had a number of ups and downs. There has been occasions when it felt like the company is going to just go down under, and then you have to continue to keep the persistence. Second is optimism. Like in the wake of, crazy times that we go through, we just went through a very, very chaotic time during times of COVID. We pretty much, everybody in the travel industry thought like we lost it all, but you have to keep the optimism. And third, keep smiling. It's very important to keep smiling. If any one of you know me here would know that I'm always smiling in the midst of any sort of disruption or chaos or anything that goes under. You have to keep smiling because you have to give, the energy to your employees, to your stakeholders, to your investors, to your customers. So very, very important to keep smiling and keep the optimism up.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for the start. The stage is all yours. Bhanu.
Thank you. So thank you, everyone, and a very good afternoon. So for today's topic, I thought I'll talk about how to really capitalize on this opportunity in digital marketing using our travel intent data and in the unified automated platform that we have. So let me first talk about the challenges that are facing our industry. So on the macro side, we have thinning margins, increasing costs. We have increased competitive intensity, and there is a changing demand landscape. So as we know, post-COVID, people's traveler habits have really changed. A couple of things that we notice, like on the leisure travel, really is, people are doing a lot more impulsive travel. It's, the booking windows are collapsing, as we know. The second thing we notice, which I'm sure pretty much everybody here in the room is doing some sort of remote or hybrid work environment. So what we are finding is like there is group travel that is happening, which is on a very, very short notice to create those water cooler moments when you really want to have that collaboration with your teams, etc. So we see a lot of that happening within the organizations. On the micro side, there is a talent crunch. Every hotelier that I speak with, they talk about attrition as a problem. In fact, it's a problem with travel industry at large. And then there are siloed solutions. If you walk around today in ITB, there are at least 3 or 4 tech halls, and there are a number of companies solving for unique use cases. But one thing which is a problem, you can get that magical toy, but those toys don't talk to each other. So this is a problem that we solve at RateGain. And then lastly that I'm not going to talk about is how do you actually focus your digital marketing using data, using that intelligence. So followed by all that chaos are these unprecedented disruptions that we've been seeing in the industry over the last year, whether it's natural calamities, whether it's the energy crisis, volcano eruptions, or the earthquake in Turkey, or you talk about, we have geopolitical risks, we have 2 wars that are going on. This all impacts travel. And what the natural condition is that we focus on the human instinct of fear and think everything is going to go down under. So let me ask you guys the question, what happened to travel demand in Turkey after the earthquake last year? Anyone? This will surprise you. It recovered in simply 10 days. So as I was saying, our instinct is when we are hit with this chaos that we tend to figure out that the demand is going to shift. But if you have forward-looking data, it can actually tell you, how to travel and how to prepare for this demand. So what I want to talk about now is really how the landscape of technology is changing, both on the user side and the hotel tech side. So if you look at the consumer internet, it's really accelerated over the past few years. And if you want to do anything you can do with this one single device, which is your mobile phone, right? Which is whether you want to book travel, whether you want to go shopping, whether you want to listen to music, it can be done through this one single device. Whereas if you look at the hotel tech landscape, back in the ages, it was usually just the GDSs that you used. But now it's really evolved. If you want to manage a guest at the property, it's the property management system. If you want to manage your guest reservations, you use a central reservation system. If you want to manage pricing and revenue management, it's an RMS. And there are a number of guest engagement tools, digital marketing tools, and again, they're not talking to each other. So what this leads to is a broken user experience, right? Because most often, a lot of these areas around distribution, marketing, engagement, and insights, they don't talk to each other and they don't deliver the goods that you really need. So what we have done at RateGain is really build a unified AI platform where we help you acquire customers, retain and engage them, and have a wallet share expansion. And this is all powered by very, very, very powerful data that we collect through travel intent as well as pricing and demand, which I'll talk about a little bit later. So selfishly, I'll also do a little bit of a sales pitch and talk about RateGain as well. So just to give you a sense, we started about 2 decades ago. We started as a rate shopper. Many of you know here that we started as a rate shopping or a channel management company. And really over the last 4 or 5 years, we've really diversified and built our capabilities both organically and inorganically and really expanded our capability set. And as I mentioned earlier, build a unified platform that allows you to acquire guests, retain and engage them, and have a wallet share expansion. And also, we, as it was introduced earlier, we also listed the company 2 years ago. So we're a publicly listed company with a market cap of 1.2 billion. We have 3,200 plus customers. So if you guys are looking for a stock tip, please go and buy RateGain. So in terms of our customers, we work with pretty much every major Fortune 500 company in the travel ecosystem, both the suppliers and the intermediaries. So we work with the world's largest DMOs, Abu Dhabi, Singapore, Dubai, as well as the largest tourism boards in the US as well. We work with pretty much every major hotel chain. We work with 400 hotel chains. We work with the top OTAs and meta search companies. We recently got into airlines, so we work with a lot of them in Asia Pac, and we work with all the top car rental companies as well. And I'm also very proud of the team that we have built at RateGain. People centricity is one of our core values. We've been recognized by Great Place to Work, also recognized by our partners. So I'm sure you've heard in all the sessions today, people talking about AI. But what's the most important ingredient for AI? It's data. So what I'm proud to present to you is that we are the world's most comprehensive data platform. We are the world's largest processor of travel pricing data. We process over 143 billion price points from over 1,100 data sources. We're the world's largest processors of online transactional data. We process 30 million bookings, over 400 different demand partners, and we are the most comprehensive travel intent data platform. We have a data consortium with 300 different brands, and we collect 24 billion travel intent signals with 2.1 billion profiles. So when we talk about digital marketing, what are the 3 different tenets to take care of? One is how do you do the targeting, how do you do the conversion, and then how do you do the measurement? So when we talk about targeting, it's very, very important to know who will travel, when will they travel, and where will they book. So we've utilized our data, our comprehensive data platform, to solve for very many unique cases in the travel industry. So when the wars were happening in the Middle East, a lot of these DMOs wanted to know how that travel demand is going to change, and we were able to provide that data on how that travel demand is shifting. Similarly, there is a telecom company that wanted to know, who are all the international travelers who are traveling internationally so that they could offer eSIM cards to them. So I think this is something which everybody in their marketing departments would typically do, is look at different segmentations. And in travel, we know of these segments of the luxury traveler, the budget traveler, now the leisure segment, family. But what we've done is we've actually taken it one step further. So what we have built is what we call the travel value score. It's very similar to like a credit card score that you have, and it's based on the number of trips that you take and the number of spend that you have for the year. So for instance, basic is somebody that does 1 to 2 trips a year, spends about $5,000. Mid is 2 to 3 trips and spending between 15 to 20,000. And then elite that are doing 3+ trips and spending more than $60,000. And really your focus should be, depending on the kind of travel brand that you are, who do you want in this segment as your customer? And especially for the luxury brands, they want the elite such that they can drive brand loyalty. So when we talk about, I think cookie deprecation is all upon us. We all know this. So can you just afford to just depend on the big advertising networks? Probably not. And what we have done is really build this data consortium of first-party data from the top 300 travel brands. And what that enables us is to have 2.1 billion profiles or IDs that you can target and activate on these different ad networks to get better personalization, better targeting, and thus getting a better return on ad spend. And similarly, what we have done is we've built what we call a unified demand booster platform. So as I talked about, it takes data as its core, which includes travel intent, demographics, and data intelligence around parity and intelligence. And we do precise digital marketing using this data to do better personalization and targeting on search, social, meta, and display. What I often find people talk about on these different channels is the myth is that social is usually your top of the funnel, but we made a compelling argument using our data that it could be used as a conversion tool as well. And we've also built, a platform that allows you to, using AI, self-learn and optimize the budgets to gauge up and down across these different channels. So now let me talk about, you've done all the hard work to get that visitor to your website. How do you actually convert that? Besides giving them a good booking experience, I think we all know parity is a big problem. Parity, I've been in this industry for 2 decades. It used to be a problem 10 years ago. It used to be a problem 5 years ago, and it's still a problem. So what we find is, in fact, I'll share a personal example. After the gruesome 2-3 weeks I've had on a road trip, I planned a little vacation next week, and I'm going for skiing in France. I tried to book a hotel directly on the hotel's website. I went to booking.com. I found the rate, and I wanted to see if I can get a cheaper rate on the hotel's website. Guess what? The hotel was available on booking.com, but wasn't even available on their own website. And it still happens today. And even the pricing is often not in parity. So what we have built is a platform, what we call AutoFix Parity, which is actually an AI-powered engine which enables you to actually set up business rules. When you find these violations across rate parity, how do you address it? So one, it can actually just notify your rogue wholesaler. Two, you can cut off the pipes, to those rogue OTAs that are disturbing your brand integrity. Or three, you can actually override the prices as well. So if you are interested in any of these solutions, please do come visit us at our booth as well. Finally, I wanted to share with you that we built this one industry asset that we call World on Holidays. Everything that I talked about, how data is really critical and very important. We have all this intelligence, and you can subscribe to World on Holidays to get data on demand patterns, pricing patterns, as well as source market information from where people are traveling. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Bhanu Chopra, for being with us here at the ITV convention Orange Stage. And of course, thank you for deep diving into your topic and also telling us a little bit more about your superpower. Ladies and gentlemen, we are heading into our next topic, Web3 on the travel industry. Just give us a few minutes and then we're back on stage.